to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe so you can be a part of my family. So today what I'm gonna be talking about is my labor and delivery story. I would talk about my pregnancy, but there's really nothing to talk about. My pregnancy went well. I had no complications, so let's just get into the video. So I went into labor Easter night. That whole day of Easter, I didn't have not one contraction. Like, we went out to dinner, we went out to like go eat ice cream, and I didn't have nothing. That night I was like laying down watching videos on my phone, and then all of a sudden, like, I started feeling like cramps, but I didn't know they were contractions because this is my first pregnancy, so I'm not experienced with it. So I was feeling these cramps, and I was like, maybe they're just there. It's already like almost my due date. I was due April 3rd, and I went into labor April 1st. So I was like, I was having them like really consistent, like they were really close together, and I was getting a little worried. So my mom and her husband at the time, they were in the living room watching a movie, and I was in my room. I went in there and I was like, Mom, I think I'm having contractions. And she's like, well, how do you know? And I was like, well, I'm getting like cramps and like it's not comfortable. And then she's like, well, start timing them. And I was like, yeah, I am. So they went outside to go talk, and as they were out there, I got like 3 contractions, like, back to back. And I was like, Mom, like, they're pretty close. So she's like, okay, well, you have a choice. You can either go to the hospital or you can just stay. Like, you can just wait it out. And I was like, I was thinking about it really hard because I didn't want to go to the hospital. Like, I was nervous. Like I didn't want to waste time, So I was thinking about it, and then I was timing them. They're like 5 minutes apart, and then 3 minutes. And I was like, okay, yeah, like they're super close together. My son's probably ready. So I was like, I think I'd rather just go because they're already close apart, and I heard that if they're like 5 minutes apart, then to go in. So she's like, okay, well, go get ready and get what you're gonna get so we can go. So I got in the shower, I got out, and we were on the way to the hospital. And as we walked in, there were like nurses in the front, how like they have to check you in. One of the nurses, they're like, well, when are you due? And I was like, in 2 days. And then she's like, oh, okay, yeah, like we need to get you back there because maybe, your son's already ready. So they take me in this little room where they just ask me all kinds of questions, like how far apart were your contractions, and I really wasn't sure. I just told them like they feel like really bad period cramps. And then they're like, okay, well, yeah, it sounds like you're in labor. So they took me to the labor and delivery room. They took me in there, and she's like, okay, well, go ahead and get undressed and just wait until a nurse comes in so we can check how dilated you are. I was like, all right, that's fine. So I got undressed, and I went in there and I changed. I went to go lay down, and then they came in and they hooked everything up to me, like my stomach, where they keep checking the baby's heartbeat and all that. So they put that on, and then they left. And then about like 10 minutes later, a nurse came in, and they're like, okay, well, we're gonna check how dilated you were because, you're already close to your due date, so you might be dilating. I was like, okay, that's fine. So they come in and they check me, and they're like, oh, you're 4 centimeters dilated. Like, it happened really quick because I had an appointment a week before that, and I was only 2 centimeters. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I'm gonna have him on his due date. So they're like, you're 4 centimeters already. And I was like, what the heck? Like, I had a doctor's appointment the day after, and I was like, that's crazy. How like the day before I have to go get checked again, I go into labor. And so they're like, yeah, you're already 4 centimeters, so we're gonna call Melendez and we're gonna see like what he wants to do. I was like, okay. He's a family doctor. Like, my mom's been going to him, and then my tia, he delivered her baby also. So I was very comfortable with him, so it really wasn't like weird because he was a guy. So they call him, and then they come back in the room, and they're like, well, he said that he wants you to stay because last time you got checked, you were barely 2 and you're dilating pretty quick. I was like, all right. And they just came in, They asked me, they're like, do you want to get an epidural? And I was like, you know what, no I don't. I want to see how long I can go without epidural. And she's like, okay. She's like, well, when you start feeling like a little bit of pain or anything, she's like, just let us know, and you know, we can put some medicine. I think it's called like Pitocin or something like that. I'm not really sure, I don't really remember. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. And then probably like 30 minutes or 45 minutes after she left, I was starting to get like really bad contractions. And then she came in and she gave me that little thing in my IV. And she's like, well, you can only have these every hour and a half. So if your contractions start getting bad and if you decide that you want to get epidural, she's like, let me know. I was like, all right. So I stood with the Pitocin as long as I could. She kept coming in like every hour, like, okay, so do you want the epidural now? Like your contractions are starting to get bad, do you want it? And I was like, no, like I don't want this at all. Because I heard like when you get epidural, it gives you like, it could give you really bad back problems and you can end up in a wheelchair and all that. So I was like, yeah, I don't want to take that chance. I'm gonna just, you know, deal with it. I was in labor for 10 hours. April 1st is when I went in. I went in 10 in the night. So they just kept coming in regularly, like to check on me, to make sure I was dilating, and like they would come in like every 2 hours, like to see how far I was dilating. And every time they came in, I was like a centimeter like closer, you know, to like, okay, well, you're dilating pretty quickly, so it looks like you might have your son tonight. And I was like, okay, like I'm ready. This boy's hurting me. He's huge. So I was scared because like he's my first baby. I was a teen mom. I was only 16 when I had him, and I was like, you know what? Let's just get this over with. So like a few hours go by and they come in again just to ask me if I wanted to get the epidural, and I was like, no, like I'm good. They come in and they check me like this one last time, and they're like, we're gonna see how dilated you are. So they checked me and they told me I was 10 centimeters dilated. And the thing that they do is like they put their hospital bed all the way down, so like your butt is like in the air more than like your back. So like technically this was like me, this was my back, and this was like my leg side. And then she was like checking me and it was like hurting bad, and I was like, dude, like this hurts. And she's like, I know, but we have to do this to check you and all that. She's like, because you're already at 10. And I was like, okay. Like I was there with my theater baby and they didn't do any of that to her, so I was like, this is a little weird. While she checked me, she's like, yeah, you're 10 centimeters dilated. She's like, I'm gonna go call your doctor and we're gonna see, like we're gonna have him come. And I was like, all right. So she goes and she calls my doctor, and like 3 other nurses come in, and one of them was like doing something with the machines, and I was like, dude, like I gotta use the bathroom, like I can't hold this in, like this feels like I got to go. And she was like, don't push. I was like, what do you mean don't push? Like it's already there, I have to push, you know? So like I was trying so hard not to push, but like when your body knows, like your body knows when you need to push. So like my body was like pushing like by itself, and I was like, no, like I can't, like you guys need to hurry up. And I kept like bothering the nurse. I was like, can you guys like hurry up? Like I have to push. And she's like, you can't push. It's like, I have to. Like how you guys gonna sit here and tell me I can't push? Like I need to push. So about 30 minutes, my doctor finally comes in and he's getting everything ready, and I was like, I have to push, like can you hurry up? And they finally put my legs to get me situated, and I was put, like as soon as I started pushing, like they automatically, they're like, you're doing it wrong, like you have to push with your bottom only, not your top. And like at first I was like, what do you mean, like I'm just pushing? And then they're like, no, you're doing it wrong, and all this stuff. And like it was getting me nervous. Like I was getting emotional. I was like, I don't know how to do this, like, I can't do it anymore, like I don't know what I'm doing. And they were just telling me, like they made me put my legs up on the like little things, and then they made me like lounge grab my legs and like push, but just like the bottom down. They're like, just act like you're taking a big poop. And I was like, okay, like I can try. And then as I was pushing, they're like, they had to give me a mask, like a breathing mask. They're like, you need to wear this because as you're pushing, your baby's heartbeat's going down and also yours. And I was like, man, like what does this mean? Like what's going on? And then they're like, you just need to push and you need to push hard. And I was like, all right. So I tried. I don't really know how long I was pushing, but I feel like I was pushing for a good 45 minutes. And I was pushing and I was pushing and I couldn't do it. I couldn't breathe. Like I felt like I was blacking out. Like I was getting dizzy. Like it was just getting dark in the room, and I just like kept looking around. And my boyfriend was on the side of the bed and he's like, babe, like come on, you can do this. My mom is right there. And I felt like I couldn't do it. So they're like, come on, you can do it. Just push. And then I pushed and they're like, okay, he's crowning. He's already right there. He's there. And then like once I heard that and they're like, good job, you know, like I just got more motivated to keep pushing. I was like, you know what, I have to do this. My son's right there. And if I don't do this, then he can be in danger. Like I need to do this. So I got myself together and I started pushing, and I was pushing hard, like super hard. And they're like, all right. And then I just felt, and they're like, oh, his head is out, his head. And I was like, oh my God, like thank God that's coming out. And then they had me push like one hard time, and then like as they pulled him out, his shoulders, that hurt so bad, like so bad. Once they pulled his shoulders out, like I screamed so loud, and like everyone was just like looking at me like, what happened? And I didn't even know what it was. Like I just felt a really sharp pain down there, like a burn. And I was like, what the heck? And like I screamed, and then I heard him, and everyone was like, oh my God, he's so big, he's so cute. And I just wanted to see him so bad, but at that time, like I just wanted to lay down and just fall asleep. Like I was so tired, like my adrenaline was running so much, like I just wanted to go to sleep. I was blacking out. I couldn't breathe. One thing, like when I was pregnant, I told the doctor, I was like, don't cut his umbilical cord as soon as he comes out. Let it like finish what it needs to do and then cut it. And he's like, all right, that's fine. So they do that, and they cut only a little bit, but they left enough so like it could finish, you know, going inside of him. So I was like, all right. So they went, they measured him. They sat him on my chest. When I tell you, you would never feel love like that, it's true. Like when I first held my son, it was like I never knew I could love someone that much. Like it's crazy. No matter what I tried to do for him, he did not stop crying. It's like he didn't want to come out, but he's the one who made himself come out. So he was born at 5:24 in the morning, and it was like a dream that like I felt like I never wanted to leave. And the doctor was stitching me up. I didn't feel not one stitch. I felt like sharp pains, but it didn't hurt me. So like I was just focused on the baby and like on him and stuff. And they finally left. I had my baby boy April 2nd at 5:24 in the morning, and it went by quick, and my pregnancy went by super quick too. Like that flew by. Probably like the last few weeks, like that took the longest because I wanted him to be here. But other than that, like I'm so thankful for my son, and I'm so thankful for the family that was there supporting me. I'm thankful for God being by my son and my side during birth. And so that's the end of my labor and delivery story. It wasn't that entertaining. I really didn't go through that much. It was quick and fast. I mean, it was 10 hours, but I got through it quick. So please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any suggestions of what any kind of videos you guys would like me to do, please comment down below. And also don't forget to subscribe. I want to do more videos for you guys so you guys can be part of my life. If you guys want vlogs, challenges, pranks, or anything, or if you guys want to see the baby, I'll be more than welcome to do that. Make sure to follow me on Instagram. I want to do Q&As. You guys can ask me questions and stuff. So thank you so much for watching, and if you've subscribed, thank you so much. It means so much to me. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.